Hello scale modelers from YouTube, and welcome to my channel. In this video, I'm going to share with you how I finished the build of a 1956 Ford Victoria Hardtop. The model kit is from AMT, number 6547 in 1/25th scale. An old kit, issued in 1989. I got it online, in second hand, partially assembled, and that's why I say that I'm going to finish the build. It is supposed to be built in one of three versions: racing, custom, or stock. However, this kit can only be built as the stock version. The parts for the other versions are missing, but I don't care, because I really like the stock version, as the top box picture shows. The kit comes in a rigid box with opening from the top. As I said, the previous owner already started the build. The body was two-tone painted, light blue and white, with bare metal foil on the body trims and around the windows, as well as some chrome parts also installed. A nice job that I will preserve. The instructions manual is also present, but we'll see it more in detail later. The chassis was painted gloss black with the exhaust system painted silver. I'll assemble the front and rear axles and suspension elements, and to finish it, I'll make the necessary touch-ups in the black paint, and I will also paint some other details. I will also dry brush slightly with silver all the chassis, to highlight the details, and I will do some wash in the exhaust, to give it a more used look. There are still many chrome parts to install in the kit, since the cars from the 50s have a lot of chrome areas. The engine block was already started and painted red, but many details still needed to be assembled and painted on it. The clear parts must also be installed. I noticed that the roof window was tinted with a dark green color, and I like it. For the interior, the previous owner opted to a two-tone paint scheme, white and light greenish blue, with the floor in light gray. I'll keep these colors, but as some of the white areas are a little yellow or not well painted, like the rear deck, I'll have to repaint them. The tires and the wheel covers that are available are only the ones for the stock version. Since the tires are all black, I decided to paint the white walls to give them a more classic look. Many other parts left untouched are still in the sprues or loose inside the box, but it seems that everything is available to finish the kit and build the stock version of the car. That I will check that during the building process, and if necessary, I will find a solution. Prior to start building the kit, let's have a quick view of the instructions manual. The pictorial manual sheet first gives a brief description of the 1956 Ford Victoria, as well as some tips and advice to assemble the model kit. Then, it is divided into 6 main assembly steps, with simple and clear instructions, giving indications on how to assemble the different parts, as well as of the colors to paint those parts. The 6 assembly steps are in order: the engine, the wheels, the chassis, the interior, the body, and the final assembly. Where necessary, these assembly steps are also subdivided, depending on the version of the car being assembled: stock, custom, or racing. Obviously, in my case, I will only have to focus on the assembly instructions for the stock version. Now, let's see my building process. Starting by the engine assembly, I separated the stock version parts indicated in the manual, and with the already assembled engine block, I finished it. I preserved the red color already painted on the engine block, but painted the transmission with silver. I also painted with silver the letters on the top of the valve covers, the air cleaner, as well as other details to give them some contrast. The fan was painted semi-gloss black, instead of the original chrome, and in the fan belt, I painted the belt flat black and the pulleys silver. The oil filter was painted blue. I painted the distributor with hull red, wired the engine with yellow spark plug wires, and the exhaust manifolds, as well as the exhaust pipes, were painted aluminum. To finish the already painted chassis, I assembled the engine, as well as the front and rear axles, with the corresponding suspension elements, painted flat black. I left the traction bars in the original chrome, and the rear shock absorbers were painted with silver and blue. The gas tank was painted with aluminum, and the drive shaft was painted with magnesium. I used the Tamiya panel line accent color black to highlight some details on the engine, as well as on the drive shaft. The black areas were dry brushed with silver, and I weathered a little bit the exhaust system, as well as the gas tank, with soot from the Tamiya Weathering Master B, to give them a more used look. Before assembling the wheels, I painted the white walls on the tires, and the center of the wheel covers with a Sharpie red pen, to give them some emphasis. In the interior, to preserve the two-tone paint scheme, and since some of the white areas were a little bit yellowed, or not well painted, I masked the greenish-blue areas, and repainted those areas with Vallejo Hobby Spray Paint White. The floor was also masked to preserve the in-light gray paint. The rear window handles were painted silver, and I used metal foil for the trims of the rear side panels. The white areas of the door panels were also repainted. The window and door handles were painted with silver, and I also used metal foil for the trims. On the dashboard, the gauges that were before painted black were repainted with silver, and I used the Tamiya panel line accent color black to highlight their interiors. I also painted some other details that were not painted before, and I glued the horn ring to the steering wheel. All the interior parts were then cleared with gloss varnish to give them a bright look. As I said before, my decision was to preserve the nice two-tone paint job on the body, with light blue and white. Even because the bare metal foil on the body trims and around the windows was also nicely done. Some chrome parts were also already installed. However, to finish the body, it is still necessary to proceed with the installation of some more chrome parts, as well as other details, like inside the engine bay, and the installation of the clear parts for windows and lights. The kit was supposed to have the possibility to open the doors, but in this case, they were glued to the body. I didn't even try to unglue the doors, because it could affect the paint job, and really, I don't care about being able to open them. To finish the body, I installed the two Crown Victoria side pillars, and the Crown Victoria roof molding, connecting those pillars over the rooftop. On each side of the car, I painted the emblems with silver, and in the body interior, I installed the door panels. On the front, I painted with chrome the front splash pan, and installed it with the bumper and the bumper guards. Before installing the two parking lights, I painted them with white, and added a layer of Mod Podge over the white paint to create the light lenses. As there was no logo decal to the front of the hood, I printed one that I found online, and glued it in place. I painted the front hood emblem with silver, and I added a trim with metal foil on the hood front, over the grille. I washed the grille with the Tamiya panel line accent color black, to give it a more realistic look. On the rear, I installed the trunk emblem, and made a locker for the trunk lid. The rear bumper, and the bumper guards were also installed. I painted with black the two exhaust tips in the bumper, and as the kit didn't come with decals, I used a license plate decal from my parts box. Then, I clear coated the body with gloss varnish. After the clear coat was dry, I installed the windows, the headlight lenses, and the interior parts into the body. I also installed the antenna, and the mirror on the door of the driver's side. As the kit didn't come with the front windshield wipers, I scratch-built them. Finally, I assembled the chassis into the body, and inside the engine bay, I installed the heater, the radiator hose connected to the engine, and the coil connected to the distributor. I wired and installed the battery, and I scratch-built the top for the radiator tank, as well as the master cylinder. Finished the building process, let's see the result. Here she is. It's not perfect, but I'm happy how it turned out, and I think it will be very nice inside my display shelf, instead of being stored unfinished in a box. I hope you also like it, and stay tuned, because I will have a slideshow with some static photos of the kit at the end of the video. The 55 and 56 Fords were a big break with the past, introducing such notable features as a new Y-block V8 overhead valve engine, two-tone paint schemes and Thunderbird styling. The 56 represents the best to be had from Ford that year, with the Crown Victoria option. Popular with Ford fans, the 56 was a major contender in the popular Ford versus Chevy debates of the 50s, especially with the dual 4-barrel Thunderbird power optional V8 engine, which included factory dual exhausts, a big thing in those days. A wraparound windshield complemented the pillarless hardtop styling, replete with a chrome sphere running down each side, dividing the two-tone paint scheme. The round Ford bullet taillights identified the car even at night, and was to become a Ford trademark for many years to come. Today, a 56 Vicky is a prized classic in stock form, no one even thinking to turn it into a full show custom, so popular when the car was new, and yet, a good slow for show custom in the American graffiti tradition, still draws admiring attention. The 56, a classic in any sense of the term. Thanks to all my subscribers, and thanks for watching. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up, and comment down below with any question or feedback. See you in the next video.